You might not know what CelAction2D is. It's a software that I've been animating in for various studios for over 2 decades now. So CelAction2D is used in many different series such as Peppa Pig, Bluey and Mr. Bean. It's got 2 sides to it. I'll just take you on a little tour. There is assemble mode and animate mode. And assemble mode is where you would build your actor. The most important thing to know about CelAction is you can't draw in it. You would be drawing in a different application such as Photoshop, Illustrator or TV Paint. And you'd be making a layered file, and then we would bring those in. So you can see here there's a list of various elements. We have a long scarf here that's patterned, and you can actually put a bend in here called a limber. So you can see here, this is just a linear list, but when I choose my snowman actor that I've already built and go over here, it looks identical, but there's a hierarchy now. If I move the upper body, everything to the right of the word upper body in this list will also be affected by whatever I do. So you can see that all those other elements are moving as well. But now if I choose the arm, that's just going to move the arm and whatever's connected to the arm, which is the hand too. And I've also put on a limber, as I said, so this scarf has got all these pink and red elements here, and then you can see that it bends in a lovely way. Okay, so now we're going to go into the animate side of the program. Most animation programs have a timeline, and CelAction's no different. It's called the dope sheet, the vertical list of frames here. So there are 25 frames per second here. So I've already put some frames in. I've got it on 2s here, as you can see. And as we click through, you can see that things are starting to move. Now, how I did this really was I just took the pose. I would take a fresh frame here, which I will colour red, and then I just use my rotate to move it into a different pose. And then also I'm going to move the scarf a bit and maybe put the hat on a bit more of a jaunty angle. And then you can see, so you've got key on frame 1 and key on frame 6, and then you can just press the automatic algorithm. It does the in-betweens, and then you can go back obviously, and if you don't like it, you can tweak it. Another thing that CelAction can do really well is if you have one character or actor which is built in a certain way, and then you have a second character with a different colour design. You could even have a different head shape, but the same skeleton built in the same way. Then you can take the animation from one, so we'll see he's walking along, and copy it over using animation clipboard to the other character. So I'm going to get my animation clipboard up, copy all. I'm going to go over to the coyote, which is the more orange character, and I am going to paste that animation, that both of them have that animation even though they are different. Another great feature of CelAction is that besides the fact you have a limber which allows you to bend things like the flipper of the seal here, bend the actual shape, you can also rig up points around a particular actor to create a path. So I've done this with the water in the water tank, and as you can see when we play through, it's rippling. So we've just had a flat colour, and we've made it into a path, and you can see when you click on all the different points, if I go into wireframe, there's a little red point there. So there's points for every corner of this, and there's also handles. I'm going to move some of the handles by choosing my Z key and just pulling it around, and you can see you change the outline of this body of water that's in the tank. And then if I was to go to the other side and choose the correct handle, I could change that curve, and then of course you can change it on different keyframes and then animate between it. The other thing where CelAction is really good is with alternate shapes. So if we're looking at this fire stick here, you can see if I press the shapes panel that I've already drawn the different shapes in Photoshop before I imported it, and then when I click through, you can see that flame is now animating in a cycle. So what I would do to animate it in this scene really quickly is I'd select the whole level, I'd go up here to animate shapes, choose all the shapes, put them in the right hand box, choose 2 frames and click OK. You can see that both of those things are moving. Alternate shapes can be added at any time. So now I'm going to just show you a character, and if we look at her mouth, obviously this would be where you use them a lot. We've got a set of mouths here which encompasses all the lip sync shapes, and I can just select any bunch of frames and click on the one that I want. Ooh. And then click on the smaller one. Ooh. And she moves her mouth. You also might notice that when she moves her mouth, her head shape is also changing. So I've put in 8 head shapes, each one corresponding to the mouth shape that is going to fit it, and they're linked together. If I turn off that link and change the mouth, then the head shape is not going to move, so I'm just going to click the shape links back on and then it moves. So that's a really nice way of very easily animating your lip sync, just setting it all up first. If you were to go back into assemble mode, it's quite easy to add shapes post design and post animation even. So you can see with this mouth here, I've got a little green number, which means there's 8 shapes in there. And if I was to go to my inspect shapes box, then I could actually add new shapes from a file there, so I could add a whole nother set if I wanted to. We can add sound, and then you can see when you do that, you get a graph here which shows you where the sound is hitting. So I'll press F4, wind there, and then you would make a little preview like that. So that, in a nutshell, is how CelAction works.